Hello everyone, David here, MixBus TV, part 2 of me trying to swap all my analog gear with plugins for this mix of this song called Locomotive. In part 1, we spent 1 hour trying to swap just my tubas. And we've seen I used basically, 12 or 13 plugins to do that. And we got as close as we could. So right now the tubas is as close as it gets. And we are gonna go now up top and try to swap the rest. So my tubas now, it's bypassed and the plugins are in. So the first analog unit going top to bottom for this mix is the Fatso, this one, and is on the snare. And because I have stuff on the drum bus as well, I have to bypass it. The Fatso that is on the sum of the several snares tracks that I have. Again, if you want to see the breakdown of this mix, this is the same song that I use for my new mixing course, is mixing rock. And in the course, we go track by track, plugin by plugin, piece of hardware by piece of hardware, all the settings, why I did what I did, all the automation moves, all the effects and all. And this is just an experiment I'm trying to do because I've been asked so many times. We are gonna try to swap all the hardware with plugins and see how it sounds. So yeah, let's bypass the Fatso. So the Fatso has the transformers on. I'm in bus setting and I'm driving it hella hard and compressing like over 10, let's say 10 dB compression in bus mode. So we have a slow attack, fairly medium to fast release, and I'm driving the tape into the red here and the transformers on. So without it, it's a little brighter, it's more pushed. I don't have a Fatso plugin, so I'm just gonna have to try to come up with something here. And I think the closest thing that I can try is either a rouser and then maybe add a tape emulation after, or Mikey from Empirical Labs. And I'm gonna put, I guess, soft tube tape after. And for now, let's just try to grab the compression without the collar. And I'm gonna start with a rouser. Because I'm actually brick walling the snare, I am going to monitor how much I am hitting the brick wall HD with the Fatso on, so we have a reference with levels. So look how fair I am being. Okay, this is how much we are saturating. I'm clipping it right after the Fatso. So if I take the Fatso on, a rouser on, I'm going to push the saturation first. Okay, the orange light is pretty much where I am with sporadic hits on the red. And we are already seeing that I have to lower the level because we're hitting the clipper more. I'm just gonna use 4. This is the amount of compression that I'm doing with the Fatso. Completely different. So it appears that the release is much slower, saturation is less, And let's try this. Yeah, volume needs to go down. The saturation not being the same, I'm gonna leave it at soft clipping here. Where is it? Because it's not even the same. I will use the saturation. It's gonna be the tape, because this saturation, this is soft clipping and it's not what's on the fatso. So okay, it makes more sense now, but it's so different. It's so different. Not even close. Not even remotely close. Let's try with this. So bypass this. No way in hell. So I'm just gonna try to use the tape first. I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss. None of these two compressors react like the fatso at all. I'm gonna have to try something different. So let me try like a germanium. There's another color compressor, maybe. I'm trying to boost the high frequency on the tape because the transformer adds top boost here, but it doesn't. You see what the problem is, right? You see what the problem is with the fatso. I have this so much power and width, and I have the sparkle at the top. I have this great body, but after the fatso, I'm only hard clipping like 1 to 2 dB and a half, right? To achieve the same power with plugins, and I can't. So far, I have to hit the clipper so hard and it just doesn't sound the same. It's got no sustain whatsoever. API 2500, maybe, I'm at a loss. Nope, not even close. Let me try to swap the saturation with the compression. So there's no way in hell that I'm gonna be able to compress 7 to 9 dB like I'm doing with the Fatso and maintain the body, the snap, and the bigness of the snare with a plugin. There's no way. Because as soon as I'm not even compressing 6 dB here. And if I do even get close to, not even, because I'm compressing 3 dB, I'm choking the snare compared to this. It's embarrassing. It's freaking embarrassing. You hear how much ambient and sustain and width there is with this. I need to add some sort of color. NLS. Let me try this. Let me try a Nevo. Just drive it really hard and then compensate for the volume because I need that sustain or the snare is gonna get lost in the mix. At this point, I just need to just try stuff until it works. 609. Now, all these compressors pinch too much. They don't seem fast enough when they release. I start to, let's try an 1176. At this point, I think without the tape, it's better. This is probably the closest. The only thing I can try here, because I still don't have that bigness, is a transient designer and try to boost a little bit the sustain. It's close enough. It's close enough. But I'm also have to live with hitting the clipper, what, 12 dB higher. This is gonna be close enough, so we bypass the Fatso, and that's gonna be our snare. And now we go to the toms. On the toms, this should be doable. I only have the 1974 on it with a little bit of boost at around, what is it, 75. So what you listen for here is the low tom. If we take this off, with this on, all of them are affected, but the low tom is the one that has a fundamental. I also have 1 dB, a 10K in shelf. I'm gonna use the Kirchhoff EQ because I don't have anything remotely similar to the drummer. 2 dB in shelf mode with a 9 dB slope, and then 1 dB at 10K in shelf again. Let me bypass it. That low end is not the same. I guess it's gonna have to be close enough. It's just, it lacks a little bit of color. I already have a decapitator there to begin with. I don't know what else. I guess let me try a tiny bit of harmonic. I want to go maybe the radiator, just a little bit. Clean line, just run it as is. I just want to make sure that we are peaking at the same level here. So without radiator. With radiator. Yeah, we're the same. Okay, that's gonna be it. That's gonna be our substitute for the drummer 1974 EQ. And then we have the full drum. This is gonna be fun as well. On the full drum, we have the API 5500 with top, high, mid, and bottom. Let's solo our drum again. It's easy to understand with and without because it's got a lot more mid-range, a lot more brightness. I guess I'm gonna start with the API EQ. For now, I'm gonna try this. I have the soft tube as well. So we have 2 dB at 20. Oh, this is gonna be interesting because I don't have 1 dB. We'll have to try. The second one is 2 dB, 3K, 1 dB at 40, which ain't gonna be 2. So anyway, let's try. I'm gonna bypass it from here. Yeah, that 2 dB right there, it's not good. So I'm gonna grab that from the American channel, class A from soft tube. And the top end and the mid range is a little pinch with this. So I'm just gonna try to do everything with this. So let's hear now. Okay, is pinched. It's pinched in the mid-range. So I'm just gonna back off this 3K here and see how it is. And the top end is not as bright. The very, very top end. You hear the hi-hat. It's got to be close enough because I don't know what else to do. So after the API, we have the FETs. So again, with bus compression, transformer in, and let's see how it sounds. It's the same thing as the other FETs, so it's gonna be a nightmare. What did I use? So I ended up using a FET compressor a Transient Design and an NLS channel. So that worked to some extent. So I'm just gonna do the same. I'm just gonna add a little bit of NLS to this for the grit. And what else? We have a little bit of compression. I'm gonna try to use the FET from Softube for this, which again, the Fatso is not a FET compressor, but I'm at a loss. None of the VCA that I have in plugin form are even close to it. So basically the Fatso is not really compressing, it's just lighting the first light at the tom roll. So that's what I'm trying to get here. Pretty much like that. So we need to compensate for the level. Let me see, where do we pick with the hardware? Everything is on. We are like 15 dB louder. 2 dB louder. So let's do one compensation. 0.1 dB louder is gonna be fine. Let's double check with the hardware. Actually, we're 7.1. I'm gonna be anal and just do that. And let's see now how much we're hitting the clipper. It should be about there. Now, the nominal level is the same. The perceived level, it ain't. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. I guess let's try to add the tape here. You guys better like this video. This is it's a nightmare. I guess this is as good as it gets. Let me see in the mix. You see why it's complete BS when we do comparisons between plugins and hardware for YouTube videos, and then you open a mix that has been mixed analog and you match as close as you can by listening to it in solo, and even going in favor of plugins with level and everything, and then you open the freaking mix and just it's not even close there. It's not even close there. So listen to this is the drum with the simply the API. So what you hear, the difference is, besides it's the color of the Fatso and the tone, the box tone of the 5500. That's why the drums is so forward, right? Because we're doing, I mean, actually, let me do this. Let me just go back to the actual settings. Just 1 more dB at 3K, which sounded pinched before. Yeah, and it does sound pinched. It does sound pinched with that extra boost at 3K. This is the best we can do. The drums literally disappear. You hear how the snare, I need to back this one off too. I'm just gonna leave it a bit of drive. I don't know what to do. The snare with the hardware, it's loud, it's present, but it's not like this. That doesn't have that teeny tiny transient and then kind of nothing after it. It just doesn't have depth to it. This we'll have to do is the closest, you know, we can get. We have the API, we have compression, we have saturation, and I could try another compressor, but the compressor on the Fatso right now is really not doing anything. It's just, you know, hitting those big tom rolls slightly, and I have two types of saturation to try to emulate the Fatso, which just it's sad. It's so sad. Next is gonna be the bass. The bass is gonna be easy because I'm literally just tapping it a little with the successor. I'm tapping it like a couple of dB, and I'm using a little bit of gain for the 1073 color, but it's very mild. Like, look, this is without. Okay, so it's actually louder without the successor, because what I'm using the successor for here, the external sidechain is focused on the high notes, on the strings hitting the frets, because I wanted to round off that. And the successor is a very thick colored compressor. But what you hear is it makes the bass sit a little better because it reacts to those metal noises. So it's a little scooped right there. So the closest thing that I have is the 609, which is, you know, the newer version of the 2254, which is the successor. I have to go into the advanced and focus the sidechain in external sidechain to 3K, which is what I have on the hardware, and tap it a little bit. The problem is the recovery is not fast enough here. I'm gonna have to compress more because this is louder and I don't have an output to turn it down. Unfortunately, the release is much slower. I need something versatile, and then maybe I'll add a little bit of color because I need this side chain here to be on and focused on the 3K area. And like this, ratio is a 2, attack is a 5, and release is a 50. I guess this is as good as it gets. I think I'm gonna add a radiator as well. This is a nice color, it's not too invasive. just, it doesn't grab the same, it doesn't color the same. Actually, Radiator seems to do worse now because it's kind of brighter, and I don't want that. I think the fuck. It will have to be. I don't know. I really don't know what to use. All the plugins add harmonic content, add harmonic, so it's more. And it's usually focused in the mid-range, and what this compressor does is the opposite. It kind of tame that range, and I already have a Nova after it, so this is the best we can do. I mean, we can match the action as much as we can, which it doesn't really, but that's about it. I try to use a de-esser to get the same vibe. It's as good as it gets, so we're gonna have to leave it like that. Okay, next one we have the, oh, this is gonna be awful. So for the guitars, I did a trick here. This is my guitar bus. The problem is I did something very risky, and I explained how I did it in the mixing course. I created a parallel and then used a multiband saturator, my drummer, to add an extra layer. And of course, in the course I explained how I deal with phase using a multiband saturator on it. But anyway, without it, they sound like this. And with it, they sound like that. Of course, now it's gonna be, but the only thing that I can try is a multiband saturator for this, and I'm gonna bypass this one and take a look at what I did. And again, if you wanna see it, you can buy the course and see what did I do here. Yeah, that's exactly the problem. So I changed the level of the three bands on the saturator, and I have a lot more low end and a lot less mid range and top range, which I cannot do here. So what I can do, and at this point I'm even closer, should be even closer, is first of all, the saturation is way too much here. But because I'm using the Drummer multiband saturator, I am going to use the Drummer 1973 and the gain to adjust the bands. It's so much wider with the saturator, and I didn't use the widening section of the saturator. It's just how it is. This is as good as it gets. We're gonna leave the guitar there, and then we have the solo. I think I have the NG76 on it, so we're gonna try a 76. I'm gonna go with the CLA. Let me try the blue stripe, but it doesn't have the same grit, and it's not as fast, even though the release on the hardware is not all the way fast. The plugin feels sluggish. We're gonna try another one. That mid-range is lacking. The Arturia one. This is closer. I need that mid-range saturation for it. I'm gonna try Sapphira because it's like the clean saturation. All right, let's try. So aggressive. Let me try the saturation after the compressor. The mid-range it bites so hard. I think we're close enough. It's a little glassy at the top, but I think it's close enough. We're gonna leave this like this, and now we have lead vocals, I think, and that's gonna be interesting. And I guess we're gonna stop the video here because it's another hour, and we're gonna see you in part 3. If you like this video, please consider using the super thanks, support the channel. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I hope you like this, what it turned out to be a mini series. I did not expect this to take hours, even though I knew it was gonna take some time. So please grab some merch, go to the new website mixbusttv.com, grab one of the mixing courses. There's like 18 mixing courses out there, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for watching. Stay safe. See you next time.
Hands on my neck, hands grip my throat. Lift me up, man, take control.